Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to Nadeau Sensei's virtual dojo. And I'm Lauren Hare, and Ken Cron and Richard Moon and Brad Jacobson and Katja Simona are once again pulling it together to help Sensei come up with his crazy wild-eyed theories. This time it's the potted plant theory. 2 weeks ago, it was the sponge theory. And someplace in there, there's Aikido and a lot of wisdom. And Sensei will be with us in just a minute. If anybody has anything to announce or they want to say, got a few minutes to talk.
This is probably just an opportunity to say, Ken and I sit here and look like we're really part of this event, but I just have to acknowledge Lauren. I just want everyone to take a minute and appreciate what he really does to keep all this happening. Thanks so much, Lauren.
It's juggling while tap dancing, that's all. All right. Looks like the usual suspects are assembling. We're up to 25 people. Last week was almost 40. So people come in a few minutes late is the new on time. Steve, how you coming from after your surgery?
Thank you for asking. Doing okay. Not using a walker at all. Walking around. Knee is still, balking, but I'm getting there. Bending it, and I'm gonna have outpatient physical therapy next week, and hopefully I can play 9 innings of baseball very soon.
You can bend it like that.
Yeah. No, thanks, man. It's getting
good. Good that you're recovering. It's always good news. I think we're just about ready. And going to resume my recording. And we're just waiting for Nadeau Sensei to open his camera. And we're waiting. So we pull taffy, we stretch this long interval, just a few more seconds.
No, we're here.
And here's Bob.
Right. Thank you, Richard.
Yes. Hello. Thank you for being here. How about this? This is good.
You didn't draw that, did you?
No. You've seen my sketches. Why do you even say that? I told Katja, she's got to frame this one. Potted plant theory. Anyway, before we get into that, last week we were talking about the possibility of inner work as tapping it for healing capabilities. How'd you do with that? You see, now I heard Steve talk about bending his knee and then going for outside therapy, and fine, no problem. I didn't hear one word about, I settled inner and there was a finer body, and from that finer body, it radiated out and things were showing that would help my leg. I didn't hear any inner to the outer. Anybody have anything to say about a carryover from last week? Now that I finished pummeling Steve.
Here you go, Steve.
No, I don't want to hear from Steve now. It's too late.
The dog ate my homework.
Oh, God.
Yeah, since I got something to say. It's Andreas. Hi.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah,
Yes.
so I was meditating with Wei. Wei,
So
Ah.
Andreas, I'm sorry, but your face is completely in shadow.
it's okay. I'm right here.
There, we
Oh, God, you're dark.
almost can see you.
Sorry. Okay, that's the best I can do. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Okay.
thank you.
It's not about anyway. So the healing, I feel that the healing has a lot to do with breathing in the air. I feel like that there's something in the arhara that is beyond that it's beyond our body. So it's the system, and that's how I was feeling it. And it was the day after I was meditating with Wei.
Are you talking about LA way?
Wei, Huey.
Okay.
Anyway, so I think that there's something, and I believe that there's a connection with the chakras and the breathing, and that's it. And I'm
Okay.
out. And it does help me.
Thank you. Okay. Last week, Noah, I was going to call Noah in for a minute or so because he was we kind of started introducing energy as a healing, hands-on energy healing thing way back in the day. And Bob liked that. He got very good at it and he continued playing with it. There's anything you want to say about the levels of development you went through the years? Meaning
Yes,
like first we do a hands-on and then da-da-da-da-da-da.
So first, it's kind of a hands-on thing. You're physically feeling the other person and trying to discern what's going on there. But then it becomes more subtle, and you're really feeling the energy flow and eventually their energy body with your energy body. And the more deeply you experience that, the better your connection with them is. And what you were asking about carryover, one thing I just noticed from last week to this week, because I still do a fair amount of healing, is I wasn't as clear as I was after the class on Friday, that I was trying to carry the physical body over into the energy body. And when I let go of that, then the connection to the energy body got much stronger. And eventually it fed back to the physical body on its own. I didn't have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if we tried to say this, but I mentioned a week or two or whatever ago that the inner finer dimensions using bodies, finer energy bodies and finer, that if we try to make Bobby a Robert, there's going to be a little grinding static there. Clear from Bobby, and the next level opens and it mixes up, if you would, a Robert. Okay. A 10-pounder trying to be a 20-pounder. We've got some fighting going on between Mr. 10-pounder and Mr. 20-pounder. So it sounds like you're saying the same thing here, that that you're trying to bring the body, the heavy body, into the finer body. And why create that, I don't know, that type of negative use of the word friction, that it's inner to the outer, period, boom, finer inner, finer to the outer and outer, kind of thing. So
Made a dramatic difference.
yeah, should be so. Because again, I think there's a lot of drag trying to bring the heavier into the finer. It can be done. You can learn a few tricks. I probably did that a lot. But it's still a drag. There's easier ways of doing it now. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Bob. Anybody on carryover from last week? The potential of inner to outer as a healing possibility.
And so this is Patrick.
Patrick.
Yeah, for me, it seems like starting at some allowing calmness to occur and allowing relaxation to occur. And following that, somehow energy kind of flowing in a to and fro way, like a wave washing up on the shore and then receding. It feels to me like there's a sequence there of calm, reaching some state of calm, and then allowing this to and fro of energy to have some kind of healing effect.
Yeah. So to move into finer, we need some forms to move into finer. And then at the finer level, whichever level you're hitting, from that level, potential emanation, which you're calling that beat, I believe. So of course there has to be an easy the eye or something that transports us, facilitates us moving out of Bobby's level to an inner finer dimensional level of me. So yes, of course. And I think in words, we should probably one day, not today, but clarify maybe the words of what we're using for our process. So that of course there's a process, and then there's a new location kind of thing. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And if you're using that level for healing, then some sense maybe of that washing, the tide beating back and forth, could we say, or the waves, that in there is this is a healing force flowing to where it's supposed to flow. And this is a healing force flowing to where it's supposed to flow, with the sense that that inner healing beat is flowing through heavier dimensions. Okay. Yeah. So naturally from the inner finer flowing out through the physical body and aiding it, helping it, the healing of the body, if you would. So, yeah. And then I guess all we're saying is it looks like the better inner finer dimension you can get to, the stronger the forces are that would emanate in a healing factor. Okay. Yes. Anybody? Thank you, Patrick. Anybody? Anything here before we move on to the topic for tonight? Gina's on tonight. Gina, I tried to call you the other day, but you weren't home, apparently, or you didn't pick up. I'll try you another day, okay?
I would always pick up, Robert, if I see your name.
You weren't home.
No, and I appreciated last week. It made my sitting, I don't know, more focused. I don't know what I think. You know, it was like a good instructions, good path to go on.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to follow up with you on that.
Thank you.
Okay. Potted plant theory. You know, basically, this is just another look-see at the same old manifest universe, okay? But different angles on it, different words might facilitate your sense of it better. So what do we have here? Can you see that? Yes, you can. I'm sure you can. That there's a darker line. That's a smaller pot. That's a smaller pot. That's a bigger pot. Are we okay with that? You can see that. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Potted plant theory. Or Ta-da! There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so this is in a pot. Okay, can't see it because it's white plasticky. There, now you can see it. But eventually, this plant quite likely will want to grow bigger, and that level that it's existing in won't be able to aid it to grow or sustain it. Okay, all right. So when it looks like it's reaching its peak growth, then we go, oh, it's time to repot it. Put it in a bigger pot. Okay. Very similar to the human condition. I would like to be more. I want more. I need more. Oh, okay, fine. You can't get it out of your present existence? Fine, no problem. Yes. We just repot you. And that's a dimensional change. Okay, so we're moving from this dimension, and we have a little process to enter another dimensional realm or pot. Okay. There are, if I pull this plant out of its pot, okay, there may be a moment, whatever a moment is, where it panics because it's lost its home for a moment, but it's going to pretty quickly take up residence in this new dimensional home. But there could be a little, what's happening to me, before it adjusts, takes up residence in the new pot. Okay. And when I was meditating, I bumped into that with my journey. It felt like I was dying, going to die or dying. Okay. And at first, it was a strong feeling of death. And then as I continued, it worked out okay. And then I began to realize that I was just changing pots or dimensional levels. I was entering a new dimension. But before I could enter a new dimension, there was a feeling like you're dying. After a while, I got so used to it that as I was continuing moving into finer, there'd be a little blip, which had that same sort of death thing, but it's just a moment's blip. So, oh, that's the border. I'm moving into a new zone. So it became a second little blip, but it more clued me in that I was entering a different level, a different state. Okay. Like the highway signs where they say you are now leaving Illinois and you're entering whatever's next to Illinois. I don't know. I forget. Excuse me. Okay. Potted plant. And certain basics are ongoing. When this one is going into here, a little bit of panic because things aren't clear yet, but it's still a center and circumference, or center and circle. Okay. When we did our 1x, 2x, 3x, we kind of followed that. The 1x had a center and circle, but things are kind of tight. We did a little process to move into a 2x2, and things were a little freer. The pot was bigger. The center positioning was better. There were more energies there, or soil nutrients, mixed up a better plant. Nado, or I'm a 2x2er now. Hey, feel better. We continue with a 3x3. So it's pretty much the same pattern. I just thought these different stories might give you a little different flavor. Okay. Where are we? Potted plant. That, and you get so used to this process that you don't mind moving along, because you know it's going to be a better pot with more nutrients. And what do you want to call that? Faith? Okay. That originally there was a great pottery maker, a great husbandry man, whatever his title is. And it's set up that way. And with a little practice, you catch, oh, it only gets better. A Bobby moves to Robert, who's better than Bobby. Similar, but better. Robert moves to Nadeau. Similar, but better. And you begin to expect it. That's how it works. Okay? So fear, oh, but who am I going to be? And will I like me? And that's, oh, it's going to be you. Come on. Okay. So putting a tomato plant, let's say, into the new pot, the tomato plant shouldn't worry about, am I going to become a pear tree? I'm a tomato plant. You're still going to be a tomato plant, but you'll be a healthier tomato plant. You'll produce more naturally. You'll feel better about yourself, if I could say. Okay. It's a continuation of you. Okay. What can be a little interesting is you really don't know who you are. As you continue, you realize there's more of you that Bobby never would have figured out. If you had told Bobby things about Nadeau Plus, Bobby wouldn't know what to do with that. So it's still been a Bobby Nadeau lineage and will continue to be. But there'll be things opening up and being present and facilitating growth to a style that I might not at first be used to, or wow, is that me kind of thing? Can I do that? Whatever. Am I saying anything intelligent yet?
Sensei, this is Bob.
Noah, hi.
One of the things you put a lot of emphasis on in our training all along was that feeling that you first identified, as feeling like death, and then it became a blip. You worked hard, I think, with some success in getting us to welcome that experience as a change to the next level, rather than resisting it or fearing it or whatever. And that was a big help to me.
And how did I do that? What did I say? What did we do?
When we felt that ripple, you said it's not a ripple of death or a ripple of some horrible change, or you're going to be Frankenstein next week or something. Feel that ripple, relax and settle into it and welcome it.
Yeah. So when you pull out and you're moving into this one, okay. And again, they're all overlaid, always, they're overlaid, okay. So when you pull out, you're moving into that one, easy and open. And you're sort of allowing the soil with all of its better nutrients to come into play faster, smoother, without a lot of, what's happening here and stuff. So yeah, it's just that ability of making those shifts, not just faster, but more open, more natural, more conducive to faster growth or something. It's not shouldn't be a big hassle. Okay. Might be some moments, especially at first, we have to ease in, relax, and you're not sure yet. Okay. I think when we did the 1x, 2x, 3x, and you hit the 2x, you weren't sure yet who you were as a 2x2er. But within a couple of minutes, you started to get a flavor. You started to feel the effect. Started to, after feeling the effect, have a better idea, sense of you in your world. But it took a few minutes. No big deal. I just don't crowd it up with a bunch of bullshit. You're slowing down things you don't have to slow down. Okay. This plant moving out of that pot into that pot is just finer, better. It's going to help. There's no reason to bring in a bunch of static, could I say, or a bunch of, do I want that? It's too natural. It's too easy. It's too you. Okay. To you, even though you're not sure who you are at that level, Vase, it'll unfold. Let it unfold. You'll like it. Okay. There'll be something more for you. You'll like it. It's natural, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. What dumb words could I use? Have faith, trust. You do a few pots and it follows a pattern. It's better. So you want to use the word trust? Okay, it sounds a little silly to me now because it's just, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. But if you need those words, fine. Have faith. Have faith when you let go of your body that it'll be okay. There'll be something better there. Trust. If you need those words, fine. But after a bit, they sound a bit silly to you. Oops, we'll put them there. Where the hell are we? Jump in, say something. Help me here. Potted plant.
It seems like
Who dat?
Chip,
Chip. Hi, Chip.
the plant wants to grow. It inherently is built in the system that it wants to kind of reach its potential, and it'll adapt and conform to the limited shape it's got, but it always wants to reach its fulfillment. Maybe it won't flower until it gets to that bigger pot. Then it goes, okay. And different plants maybe have different
Yeah.
destinies, but they all want kind of the same thing in a way.
Yeah, and some plants, some people have a little stronger desire to grow than maybe some others. So we have to take that into account. Let me, Chip, I'll get back to you. Noah?
Yes, Vincent.
Christ or Christian say something about seeds being thrown out on the ground. What do you help me here?
Yeah, it was Matthew chapter 13, verses 4 through 9. I looked it up.
Whoa.
Basically, he said if you put the seeds into fertile soil, they'll grow. If you put it into rocky soil, they won't.
Okay. We can look at people. Some people are heavy and everything to them is kind of rocky. As they settle and open whatever, if they want to, they enter more fertile soil and they begin to grow spiritually, could we say, but they'll grow physically, they'll grow with more awareness. They'll be better family men, better athletes, better businessmen, whatever. It's all available. So some people are pushed more to grow than others. If you're still watching this show after 2 years, there's got to be something, unless you're really bored, making you sit down on a Friday night and hang out with this stuff. Okay? There's some kind of inner desire, inner sense that, yeah. And some other people don't have any. Leave me alone. I'm happy with my beer and my game I'm watching, or my potato chips, whatever. Fine. If you're satisfied, fine. But some people aren't. They have a sense of more. They have a desire for more. Okay. All right. Blah. Back to Chip. Chip, anything that?
Oh, that's good, Sensei. That's good. And it, like you say, the transition is, there's just a moment, but then it kind of grows into its new space, and it has a sense of this feels better. It's like the 1 by 2 by 3 by.
Yeah. That's right. Every pattern, I think, one night we just should go over some of the main patterns and spending a few minutes with each one so we can see, oh my God, basically they're in a certain way all the same, not exact. The words we use and some people might like one pattern better than another, but the essence of how to move through the manifest universe, there's a similarity to that. So, yes. Did we cover it, Chip? I got lost there. Are we okay, Chip?
That's good, Sensei. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Somebody help me here. Potted plant. Does that make sense to you? Is that okay? let me jump in. It's not just an idea. I'm presenting the idea, but if you're going to fun with it, you have to, okay, you have the idea. You have the idea that you're going to get repotted in your own system, okay? And then you have to get that sense of it, easy the eye, let go, whatever. That maybe an emptiness sense for a moment, whatever. You got to hang there and feel the nutrients of the soil. It's not just an idea, and you're going to get a lot out of this with the idea. There might be a trickle down or a trickle up or a trickle through, but it's a trickle. Okay, it's like this this being aware that there's better soil, but this itself has to have roots, depth. We start with a better feet, grounding. Those are our starting words. But it continues on down, so it can really suck up the nutrients, deeper roots going out, slurping, sucking up the nutrients. They're getting mixed, and this plant gets better and stronger. Okay, so again, when we talk about it on a Friday night, hopefully you're getting aware of it. That's an important piece. Have an idea about it, very important. But the next very important piece is the experience of it. So you must play, have some sense of playing. So using the potted plant, playing, there are nutrients there. Playing that they're mixing and pervading your centered character. You got to hang out there and play with it. It's not just an idea alone. Okay, this is kind of critical. There are a lot of smart people out there are fast with their mind and stuff. They read a lot of books. They know a lot, but the actual beingness, we really need to experience that process of how the plant sucks up the energies, qualities of the better soil. Okay. And that pattern continues. So it just gets finer and finer and finer in the potted plant theory. There's more soil with more nutrients in it. Okay. And that's the pattern. All right. You each have your own, say, certain nutrients that you need, but you're already connected with them. Okay. And as you settle and get transplanted or repotted, the nutrients that are important for you are available to you. A tomato plant needs different minerals or whatever than a lemon tree. But in how it works, they're available to you individually. Okay. If you're a musician and you settle and you open, there's going to be more energies to facilitate a better musician. Okay. If you're a fighter, it's going to be more energies to make you a better fighter, faster, stronger, more aware, whatever. So the nutrients are already there. Okay. It's a law again. Okay. So you don't have to tell the soil what to be. It's fun to go at it with what's here now and let it unfold. You know you're doing a good job when you're surprised at who you are in your process. And gee, I didn't know I had that, or I didn't know I could be that, whatever the right words are. You're a little surprised because you didn't set it up. I want to be this. It's like, yeah, but who are you really? Trust the system. It's just you unfolding. Okay. Trust the bigger potted you to know more about you than the smaller pot does. Okay. I'm blurbing again. Help, somebody jump in on potted plants. Anything exciting here for you?
Sensei, this is Lauren, and I think I just want to come back to what I think Chip started with, is that it's the plant's inherent nature is to grow, put into a new pot. It will grow as much as it can in one pot, and when you put it in another pot, it naturally, without thinking, it's its nature. And people are like that too. I think that, but as people, we have to like not prevent ourselves from sucking up all
the negativity aspect will block it out.
Yeah.
And you brought up last week also the word natural, and I said, yes, you're right, but we have to be careful. Oh, it's just naturally going to happen. I'm going to let go and let God. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, it's natural, but I have to, I don't know the words. Be alive in the process, be present in the process, partake of the process. There's some experiential activity.
It's active.
Within the process. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I understand that it's not passive and it's not going to happen to you. You have to do it, and you have to be it, and you have to go through it actively.
Yeah, we need a word there. Yeah. What was the word? Yogananda, if I remember, this goes way back. Yogananda, dear God. Volition. You get started. Volition.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna, if there's something more, it'll happen. I didn't. You need something to help to start it. Volition. You need something to separate out you from the seed that hits the rocky ground, and that's it. Nothing happens. And the seed that hits fertile soil and starts to sprout and ... and d. Yeah. So whatever that word is. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've used that phrase, you've got to put it in your body. There's some real active something you do there. And I'm thinking, you probably do this so automatically.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, that you don't even think about it. And then there are those things like I'm thinking when you tell your story about easy and how enlightening that was for someone, whereas for you, you didn't even think about it. Is there anything you can point to about how you do it when you create more space for yourself that seems so obvious you shouldn't even bother to have to tell us?
Okay. First, I don't use the word I create space. I settle so the space that's there can show that it's there. And I settle to not interfere, to allow the nutrients that are there to form in whichever way they form, and to create that level of me, whoever I am. Okay. So I partake of the process. I don't tell the process a certain way what to do. So am I okay in taking exception to how I use the word, or how the word might be heard by some people?
Much appreciated.
Okay. Then what's your question here? Okay, a simple example again. Okay, I know by having run this many times that if I settle and open, there is a pot that has a lot of energy in it. Okay, my first pot is more body, and even a smaller pot, a tight body, and kind of thing, Pot. There's a pot here real soon where the energies flow a bit. Okay, easy in that pot, not just an idea. In that pot, a sense, feeling, experience. It's vague, but first one, vague. In that energy pot, easy. there is an energy or a body with a lot of energy. I'm starting to feel things light up a bit. Easy. Again. Boom. Our energy. And then reach a point where I can do an energy arm thing. Boom. It's just because of this, there's that. The inner manifests to the outer. There's an energy arm. Or extend better. Not I extend. It extends. Sometimes I'm surprised when it's out there. So, well, who put it out there? Meaning in the earlier stages, I put it out there. Sensei, how do you want me to do this? Oh, I want to do it better. Ah, stop it. Inner to the outer. Inner experience. If it's just idea, you won't really get enough of the experience, or it'll be there for some moments and then fleet away, or you'll fleet away out of there. Some sense of this inner experience. And it manifests, radiates, let's say radiates or flows outward. Boom, boom. I don't know if I said it very well, but for me, this is like early basics. Haven't we covered this a million different ways in all of our simple original layouts?
Well, I just say, I think I've told you this, when I started, there were many times early on when I heard you say something and I thought, okay, I think this guy actually is crazy. And then
I know. My wife said the same thing. It's not unusual. Go ahead. Crazy is acceptable.
And then, a week, a month, whatever later, I go, oh, wow. Oh, wow. It would have that kind of it'd take me a while to hear it or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so I guess I'm watching you do this process by which you would follow out. Oh, I'm getting a whatever. And that was very valuable to me to watch you do that, and watching you even do it tonight again. It reminds me that sometimes you forget that. I don't know if it's because you've done it so long or you were a natural to begin with or a combination, but you do gloss over it sometimes, and it can be very helpful to us as we, as I see you do your process. Thank you.
Yeah, I kind of know that. I know I don't often remember the early beginning years. I know that, and I know as it got more comfortable, I do move through faster. Also, I know I've tried to present a lot of simple things, the energy arm bending thing, being centered and lifting. I tried to present some very simple things. Be centered and I push against your hips. Actually experience the center. If you're actually experiencing a center, you feel stronger here. If you have an idea about it, it'll break down quicker. Or you'll take your idea and try to inflict your center on me. It's like, no, don't come at me that way. It's just an indication of which direction you're going. And so we've done a lot of simple things. And I guess if I have to, I'll keep repeating the simple things. Okay. Is that do us anything?
Well, Sensei, this is Lauren. I just want to say simple doesn't mean irrelevant, and basic can be said to be fundamental and universal. So
yeah.
I think Richard's on the right track here.
Yeah, no, I've got no problem here. And thinking I was crazy, he took my wife, this is before we were married, 6 months to realize I wasn't quite as crazy as I first sounded. Began to make sense to her every time she became crazy, and began to realize where I was going and what I was doing. Took her, I think, 6 months, right, Katja?
Yeah,
about 6 months, she said, yeah.
Again, if I may, just the watching you kind of play with these subtle feelings and bring them into experiential process. Okay, I'm feeling more of this, whatever it was. Very helpful. I just say that again. And yes, simple, fundamental, over and over and over again.
Yeah. And did the sound change? We okay?
You're good.
Okay. I heard some static or something. Yeah, and anything you want to use for an out there reference for inner work. Okay. See, the problem tends to be, let's say some people have a little sense of inner work and their outer check is, let's say, an art like Tai Chi or Aikido, whatever. And unfortunately, human condition, what begins to happen is they begin to put all their time on the outer work. It's like, no, inner, outer. Now, back to inner, finer inner, now outer. Now, back to inner. You see, and we kind of don't do that. We get caught up in the outer, and then we try to do more variations on the outer, and then we try to finesse the outer, and we see if we can beat other people with our outer, and then we get kind of carried away, and this inner work is lip service is given to the inner work, as opposed to having a better relationship, inner. Now a little outer check. Okay, good. I checked. Inner. Oh, my arms feel longer. Better, longer. Good. Inner. I'm feeling more, my feet feeling like they're extending, feeling more depth. Okay, outer. And I feel my feet, oh, feet arms. Oh, my feet support my arms. However you say that properly. So anything outer that you can use anything, wash dishes, whatever, plunk your guitar, blow your horn, Richard. But sometimes play a game where you inner and then you, I don't know, blow a note or two. I don't know the terminology, or a piano player. I don't know whatever that first, you know what the first, but just check the keys out.
Oh, scaling.
They run your scales and then go back to inner. You have any sense of anything inner, you're more settled, your breath is beginning to change, you're a little straighter. Play your scales. That's enough. I'm not saying play the scales for an hour. See, now you're going into outer. Inner, better level, play your scales. Okay, so I have done and probably will continue to do a lot of games like that. Okay, the human condition, we tend to get, I don't know what to say here, over involved with the outer. I don't know how to say it in a nice social way or to be understood, but you often forget your inner as you get involved in the outer. And if you've done any degree of inner, you're probably better than the norm. You're better than the other people at that. You're pretty good. Okay. Why should you change anything? Why should you look for more? You're better than everybody else in your neighborhood, kind of thing. So there's a lot of reasons that we stop proceeding inner, finer, following bigger pots. Okay. Human condition. All right. So some people do a bit, produce better, and just stay at that level. Okay. Others will be pretty good and say, yes, but there's more, and they'll do more inner and produce. Okay. Something like that, not said well, but you get the drift. Human condition. Somebody, where are we? Potted plant. Anything on the potted plant thing?
Sensei, this is Bob. One of the things you told us from day one just about was, Sensei would come out, he would check himself out before a class. If he didn't have what he thought he needed, he'd do his circle and center kind of practice with the Joe. Then he'd check it again, and then he'd go back again. And you said, you asked him, what are you doing when you do that? And he said, you're the only person who's ever asked me that question, because everybody else was focused on what he could do. on the outer side after he did his process, but nobody ever asked him what the process was except you.
Well, that's why main thing I was interested in, even though I was a martial artist. So yeah, but he had this inner thing. And I was very interested in the inner thing. Very, very. So yeah.
when you asked him, what did he say?
Oh, come on, Lauren. He started to unfold his process at my level to me in semi-gibberish Japanese crazy talk. I did the best I could to get a sense of it and would go home and sit and see what I could experience. But don't ask me for what he said that way.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you, maybe.
Sensei, it's Chip again. One more thing about the potted plant
Yeah.
that I think in the adjustment to the bigger pot, it's disconcerting in some ways, to adapt to that, to adjust and go, oh my God, this is a bigger space. Is this okay? Is this getting comfortable with that, getting in that transition? Anything to say about that?
I think with a little practice, you're not clear where you're at. Okay, whether it's moving into a 2x or a 3x3 after being a 1x1er, you're not clear where you're at. Moving into a bigger pot would be the same thing. It's not clear. There'll be other things maybe to let you know you're in something, well, that you're out of your norm in something, but it's not clear. Okay, I don't know. With a little practice, you don't get consternated anymore about that. You're easy there. Easy, settle some more. Easy, open some more. Easy. It unfolds. It begins to show itself. So it could be all dark or blank or seemingly empty. But as you hey, easy, settle, open, it begins to unfold. It begins to show what it is and what it's doing and how it will mix you. So you'll be a citizen of that level, comfortable there. You have a title. Oh, I'm Robert now. I'm not Bobby anymore. So things like consternation. Yes, of course. Easy. It will unfold. Easy. It will unfold. Okay. And usually in a basic beginning, it unfolds and clarifies fairly quickly. As you go finer and finer and finer, there are some unfoldings that, the fineness of them maybe, it doesn't unfold to me. 15 minutes is not really clarifying. So at a certain level, it's so fine. What could I say? It takes me a little bit longer in just hanging out. Or I may be at it one day for 15 minutes and nothing's clear. Hit it the next day, 15 minutes, maybe not yet clear. Third day, fourth day, oh, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. You're experiencing it. But again, there was no change except there was consternation. Then I learned to settle and it unfolded. So if I hit something that unfolds finer, let's call it, and it's not clear, don't consternate, come back at it again. And eventually it has to show that it's just a hell of a nice big pot and great things are going on in there and mixing. Tricks of the trade. Or yes, there will be consternation. Now you're going to get involved in consternation, or you're going to be, yes, there's consternation. Now easy, settle, open a bit more. Easy. But hush. And this means let it open, settling, deeper. Let it open. It'll clarify itself. Easy, easy, easy. That kind of thing.
Yeah, thank you.
And just a little practice, then those tricks of not getting consternated or majoring in the consternation don't happen. You've kind of learned the tricks of the trade, we call them. All right. Yeah. For example, me personally, I don't like not knowing in this work. And so if I'm following some process and I don't know quite what's happening or where it's going or something, I personally don't like that. I don't like not knowing. But what I've learned is if I don't panic and screw it up and continue the next day, that it begins to clarify. And then it's known, experientially known, not just aware known, but experientially known. So I don't get as freaky about not knowing as I used to, although it still nudges me. It's my thing. But I don't get carried away with that. I don't know if I said that well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're exercising. Let me see if this is right. Let me say it and see if it's right. And you change your bicep exercise to a different angle. They got angled bars now, for example. So your arms are turned a bit different and you're curling. It's not a shock that you'll be a little sore. You weren't sore the month before because you're doing your basic one. You might have gotten sore the first few days or a few times. But after a while, you don't really get sore, let's say. You change the angle on the exercise and whoa, you get sore again. Is anything wrong? No, it's going to happen every time. Every time you change and get into something a bit different, that's going to happen. I don't think to go crazy in the barbell gym saying, I'm sore, what's wrong? I got to call a doctor, I'm sore. Or Mr. America, tell me what not Mr. America, because you'll confuse that. Mr. Bodybuilder, tell me how to do this because I'm sore. Hello? What are we doing? I don't know if that made sense. Help, I'm going crazy out here.
Sensei Linda Eskin.
Yes, Linda.
I had a thought. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. That it's my understanding that sometimes we can process our way into a new level. We can sort of see some potential and work our way into it. But thinking in terms of the plant, you know, as you did, you repotted it. And there's times in our lives when we can get repotted. We might end up with a promotion at work or suddenly off at college or in a different circumstances, new relationships that call us to be a bigger version of ourselves or provide us with better nutrients and more space. And do you agree? Am I on the right track that
Yeah.
both of
Can
those
I word
are?
it?
Yep, go ahead.
Let me word it my way and see if this is what you're saying. You're a worker with a bunch of other workers, okay? And you're kind of comfortable being a worker, okay? The pot you're in is supplying enough nutrients where every day you can go to work and be a pretty good worker day after day. You can sustain, okay? Just say okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then eventually, let's say, one day they want to make you a manager. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say you don't have the pot of manager soil. So you might say, no, I'm not ready for that job. And you might walk away from it. No, not me. Thank you, but not me. Okay. Or you know how it works and you go, whoa, manager. And you go home and you sit and settle and start to open up for the energies that will mix up a manager. They're available to you. Okay. They're all within the next pot. And as you play with that a little bit, then you'll become a manager who's comfortable being a manager. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's when the problem comes at you and you know how to do pot to be equal to the problem. You do Aikido, so you're sort of centered so you can sort of handle one uke. Okay, sort of. It's okay. They suddenly throw 2 or 3 at you. You don't have enough center to cope with them. If you remember those days. 3 attackers, Jesus, no. All right.
Those days
But
are
you
very
learn
present sometimes.
to
Yes.
tap inner to get better at this, where the center or this mix, and using center, I'm talking the same thing here. Boom. It mixes somebody who has a better center and has the capability of dealing with 3. That's been our work. You see? Yeah. Inner development for outer production, could we say? Yeah. And if we don't, and following yours, Linda, the Peters principle, which we mentioned a couple of years ago, I think, where you don't know how it works and they increase your job title, you finally reach a level where you're incompetent. Lauren, help me with the right word. What's that? Incompetent? Not incompetent.
Yes, you rise to your level of incompetence.
Yeah, you rise to give you better and better jobs, bigger jobs, to the point where you outrun your pot and you don't know the pot theory. Okay, you've been lucky and you've been natural to a certain point, and then suddenly, Lauren, you're incompetent. Help?
Yes.
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 Yeah. And in our
you rise because you're competent.
yes,
You keep rising
until you
until
outran
you
your
get to a
pot.
level beyond you and you're incompetent and you won't rise any further.
You outran your pot.
Yeah.
Or your pot
Or-
outran you.
No, the pot's
No?
there.
Okay. Okay.
Pot's there. The situation might have helped pull you out of the pot or something, but the pot and the plus pot is there if we know how it works. Anyway,
Thank you, Sensei.
thank you. So anyway, the naturalness of the pot, the naturalness of the finer soil that's there, the naturalness of the better nutrients that are there. That's a dimensional truth. This is just a dimensional process again, people. Okay. The smaller pot to a bigger pot is just a dimensional change. We're just using the plants to kind of pick up the naturalness, the how it works. You get a little flavor there, have good roots so that you get to the bottom of the pot, could we say, and you have good roots, good ground. So all the nutrients from that spread of roots can slurpee up all that. Positioning, better positioning is important. It's again, and just the awareness, being the awareness, there's a tendency not to have roots that spread and slurpee it up into an actual beingness. Okay. Could be awareness that, oh, better being, but it's an awareness. It still hasn't experienced. And we need a little practice there. That's why I came up with 1 to 5. 1 idea to 5 of playing with the experience, just as a reference. 1 to 5, because the idea is fast, and especially at first for a while, to have the soil energy minerals catch up. A little practice there. Pump the pump for a while. One idea to 5 pumps. How many ever 5 pumps is, and whatever. How'd I get into that? I forgot. How are we doing, people? Where are we? Potted plant, potted plant.
Sensei, this is
Downtown.
Gina.
I'm sorry, who?
Gina,
Hey, Gina. Yeah.
I find that when I cross over or in that, go to the new pot
Mhm.
place, the new place has so much energy, it kind of kicks me out of my whole,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I have to
Oh, yes, very
settle all
much.
over again. and go back.
Very much. Okay, one trick, and I've presented this in very simple in the beginnings of energy work. Let's see, how we did that. Okay, I asked people to settle. We're standing there, right? And I asked them just settle and be present. And there is a deeper source of energy. Okay. If they haven't quite opened and they step into this spot where there's a deeper source of energy, it can kind of push them. If they're sensitive, they can actually feel the push. I can feel the push. It actually pushes me. What do? I go, oh, I'm not quite ready yet. I might even back out of that spot. Okay. Double check settling and opening. Hit the spot again and make sure I'm really open. So there's more energy than I expected. And because I'm more prepped for it now, I open a bit better so it can flow through a bit better. I've laid this out in class
Thank you.
for years, right? Noah's joining. Oh yeah, we've done that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. So to be pushed out, of course, each dimension or pot has, what to say, it has more energy. It's more soil, more minerals, and let's say an energy core source there that radiates. As you get close to it and it pushes you, of course, easy, settle, open some more, because you have the capability of being more fully there. If I come in a little heavy, if Bobby tries to come in on some of this work, ain't no way he's going to be really pushed out. Or the energies are so strong, they really get Bobby's head spinning. I get headaches in the old days playing it that way. Boom. I wouldn't prep for the energy, just check it out. And bam, I get a little head pressure. That was not unusual to have that happen. Okay. If you play it a little softer there and you don't open enough, you start to realize you're starting to spin on your thought patterns. Okay. So I used to play on what would happen if we didn't settle and open some more and kind of catch how it works. I tried to use the example of oil drillers, that if they hit the pool of oil, in the old days, it was a gusher. Well, if you haven't set the pipeline, the center, let's say, or your presence properly, of course it's going to push you. It's going to knock over the, what do they call that? The drilling rig, the
Derrick. The Derrick.
rig. The rig is going to be knocked over by the gusher. So you got to make sure the rig is proper. That's why we settle and square away a bit, even as Bobby, so that as we continue that format that we're using and opening, it stays constant. That's kind of important. So a good squared away Bobby, open, squared away Robert with those same things. There's a center and a circle. There's energies mixing, a character with a core. Make sure you got your basics there. So as you continue, you have that basic reference. You have the, what's the drilling rig again? Derrick. The derrick is positioned better. The pipe in the middle of the derrick that it's going to gush through. is positioned better so the gusher doesn't destroy the lesser one. Yeah. So we laid out stories like that to talk about the problems or the experience that you had. It's like, oh, yes, of course. You're getting close. How do you know? Ooh, just push me out. Oh, okay. What should you do? Settle and open, because you're a little heavy potentially coming in, and it pushes out heavy. Easy. As you're more easy, the eye, a little more sense, easy. Settle open. And it doesn't push you after a bit because you're equal to it. You're equalizing with it.
Great tip. Thank you. Now you tell me after all these years. Thank you.
I know.
It's Mike from New Zealand, Sensei.
Hey, Mike.
I have to, you've just used the words that I was going to bring up. For me, the things that stick in my mind most about, of course, I've only seen you and been with you in, periodically over fairly substantial gaps in time, were easy the eye and open and allow. And I mean, you kept saying these words every time you came out at some stage in the camp. You always were saying them. But what I realize now is that, and I took those words on board, but that was the point. In the beginning, they were words
that you understood.
I ran them through my mind, and I really wasn't getting the juice of it. I knew that, but I didn't know what it was I wasn't getting. But what I realize now is that eventually it's the feeling behind the words that I eventually caught on to.
Yeah.
And I've only just really noticed that that's what's happened for me. They're no longer words, they are something.
The picture is like a word. And it's a concept or an idea. It's awareness. You're aware of the word. What was missing? Experiencing the word. Oh, I understand what settle is. Yes, yes. Oh, there's no settling going on, right? So you hang out with it, even though it's a word you think you understand totally, fully. Do the process. Following that word, easy and open. Has the word changed a bit? Or the flavor of it, has the flavor of it changed a bit? Not for the first second, but continue. Settle and open, following the track of that word. Easy, easy. Oh, I'm hearing another word right here. It's not another word. I'm jumping around on words. Sean, are you on? I'm not jumping around on words. The word happened here. It was easy. And then I forgot already. Calm. That's the beginning of calm. Calmly. So along with easy, there was a calmness sense. Okay, easy. Okay, still stay with that word. Easy, finer, finer. Experience the finer of that word. Get to this as best as you can, the source of that word, at least finer and finer and finer of that word. Experientially, with some sense of feeling. Yeah. Yes. Yes, Mike. Yes. Yes.
And I just wanted to add to what Richard and Lauren said as well, though. I mean, although for you it's the distant past, a lot of this stuff that's just you've absorbed into you, and therefore you don't think about it. Its repetition is gold for a lot of us still. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know from your point of view, maybe that's it could be frustrating, but yeah, it is still really valuable for us.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that's always stuck with me is because I often used to pick you up and bring you to the sessions, or even have you stay with me or whatever. I got to see you change from Bob to Robert to Nadeau to Sensei as we got to the dojo or wherever the camp was being held. And then you know, you might have been staggering around or having difficulty getting out of the car or not walking that well, but you walked onto that mat and just a switch got flicked and you were a completely different human being. And that always stuck with me, even if I couldn't understand the words that you were saying or get the feeling of the words yet. It was clear that there was something there that goes way beyond any physical exercises.
Yeah, and this is a typical one in martial arts, Chinese martial arts and such. There's all kinds of stories about the really old timer, the old lady with the cane who was a martial artist, and she canes her way slowly up a few steps to get on stage. Suddenly, bang, whop, 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 whop. She gets off the stage, grabs her cane, and goes back to being an old lady. That's not unusual. Again, that's tapping that inner, not as an idea, but as some kind of inner experience, and they light up. Okay. The idea alone doesn't quite do it. Now, some of you, your idea, you get maybe a little more feeling than other people, but it's still not a major on the feeling. So you don't want to misunderstand a partial feeling for you got it. You really want to double check this fullness of experience. Really hang out in the soil. Really feel. Hang out with the roots experientially, not just aware of. Oh yeah, roots. I understand roots. I took biology in high school. What the hell is he talking about? You know, kind of thing. Spend some time. And as you do, it can get very fast. Again, our sensei was damn fast at a damn fine level. Wow. Okay. But don't you worry about speed, because there'll be a tendency to have a fast idea. And you haven't done anything except have a fast idea. Yes. That's the source of God's power. Here I am. I don't think so. Let me push on you. I don't think you have a center or whatever. Are you following it in my craziness? So I'm sorry to keep pushing that awareness and experience, but it's critical. It's critical, people. Sente tried to tell you, he mentioned roots. He said, put it in your body. He had you walk around on your knees, which are just the beginning level. He didn't mean for you to stay there and get spiffy on your knees per se. That was just, hey, it's down there and it's under also. Get that part of it. Get that part of it. In the human condition, we tend not to get that part. Remember, it's not I don't know, just Christian, but it's like a spiritual. Hate the body. The body's horrible. Anything down here physical is not good. I think even some of the chakra people, oh no, the chakras start here. This is good. Anything lower, oh no, we don't, that's bad stuff. We have to transfer that and make that finer stuff by having it be up in here. It's beautiful stuff. It's part of the creation. It's the fullness of creation. It's two parts. The great mind and the great body. But the damn human condition, and even before humans, was more of a major in awareness and not in the actual experience. So we have some catch-up work to do. That's why I keep bitching on it. Okay. It's very important. Yeah. I'm blurbing again. Getting late. Anybody, anything? Did you get anything out of potted plants?
Sensei, I think it's you've kind of summed it up. And
did you pay Mike off for that little whatever it was commercial he just did for the difference between the idea and the experience? I thought it was like, I mean, it really exemplified why you're, I don't know what word I want to use, repeating it. How's that for delicate?
Okay, I know I didn't have to pay him. He's finally becoming realized.
Mike, I offer you the last retort if you want.
Oh, no, just those words were freely given. You know, I mean, I have known Bob for a long time, but I've only got to know him in little chunks over a long period. If those chunks had all been condensed, God, where would I be now? Is kind of my thought, you know. But maybe my journey needs to be that long. Maybe that's the nature of things, and I just needed doses along the way to keep me encouraged.
It's not unusual. In my case, I can go through some of O Sensei's old notes, okay? And I read them a long time ago or something, and I could read them now, and there's so many things are so much clearer. So, me too. You know, you first hear something and you think you understand it, or maybe you put a question mark, meaning you didn't really understand it. But as you develop, okay, suddenly the old stuff that you didn't understand, you don't understand why you didn't understand it. It's laying out pretty clearly now because you're at a clearer level, could we say? So you're not the only one, a victim of that, if we could use that word, victim. Me too. It's how it works.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, people.
And thanks, Bob. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
And thank you, Sensei. I think that we're almost at 8 o'clock, and we'll all have to go tend our plants.
Feel the plants feeling with the nutrients. Experience. It's a sense game. It's almost like make-believe, but then you get involved, you can actually, in a certain way, feel it, whatever. You play, you figure it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei, and good night,
Happy
everyone.
gardening.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for class.
Thank you, Sensei. Good night, all.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Good night, everyone.
Man.
I'm on.